welcome back to Art with Miss Choate. I hope you're having a wonderful week so far. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making some really cute abstract trees. So what we're going to be focusing on is color. We're going to be thinking about color families, things that blend well together, and we're going to keeping it simple with lines. So we're just going to be lines repeating in different colors. We're going to learn how to mix our shades before we get started and come up with some really beautiful trees. So you can either use paint, markers, color pencils, whatever you have will work. Same principles apply. So go grab your supplies and let's get started. So for these Christmas trees, you can either use markers into the lines, paints with the lines. I'll show both ways. And I would say each tree you should stick with a specific color palette. Think about it before you get started. Don't just jump right in. My first one, I'm going to do a pretty classic. We're going to do some greens. Now, I really want you to play with mixing your colors. We're just going to be doing stripes. Now, you could do a couple with the same color, but then go on top with a different shade. You can also take a piece of plastic, like your lid, and you can mix those colors up before you get started. So put some water, and you could do clean water. That's probably a better idea. And we're going to add different colors to it. So we have them already before we get started. And to make green, we use yellow and blue. So we can take that and add more yellow to some colors. We can add more blue to some colors. It doesn't matter if you don't have a lot of colors in your palette because you can mix them yourself. And I'm using that edge of my plastic lid to kind of get that color off my brush. And now I'm going ahead and I'm putting it in there, and look at that. Look at all these beautiful shades of blue or green that I created from just these two, and my yellow and my blue. And I could have done the same thing from just yellow and blue. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take these colors and I'm going to start making my line trees. Now they're pretty diluted, so I can go ahead. We can give it multiple layers. You can clean off your brush before you do it. Keep your water fresh, keep your brush fresh. You can even do multiple brushes for this, or one, or your finger. And you can do the same thing with markers. We can layer those markers. We can put markers in a lid like this because it won't dry because it's plastic. And so there we have a really cute tree. Now we don't have to get rid of these. We can turn these into something else. So we could do like a blue tree now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a lot of blue to these colors. Or I can add purple. Let's see what happens. So maybe I do a bluish purple looking tree now. I always like to try to mix my colors beforehand so I can see maybe they don't turn out looking too nice and I don't have to use it, but I learned from it. Ooh, I like how that color turned out. Oh, but I don't like how that color turned out, so I'm not going to use that color. And now I'm going to go do my next tree. And I can do it bigger. If you wanted to do zigzag lines, or if you want to change it up, you want to put your lines right on top of each other, you totally could. Maybe I'll go back. Maybe you are having trouble with these lines and you need to draw them out beforehand. That's fine as well. There's no right and wrong with these. If you do like a kind of weird shaped tree, go ahead. I'm just going back over it. I could go over it multiple times. I could go in between. Really play with it. Just take this idea and see where it takes you. Maybe I do want to put that green in between. Could be interesting. And you're going to keep playing. What kind of other colors can we do? I'm going to move on now to my markers and do the same kind of idea with my markers. So many. I'm going to do a pink, orange, red kind of hot color tree now. See how many different variations I can come up with. Maybe I do a couple. Play with layering them. Maybe I even just start to do a pattern. I'm kind of digging this as a keeping really steady. Maybe I add a pink in. But I don't quite like the shape, so maybe I did need to draw out my shapes before. Or maybe I could just go over the whole thing in pink. See what happens. The whole thing about art is we just need to play. See what turns out. We never know. I'm going to do that same idea, but with like blue, green, yellow. See what I get. I'm going to keep this one a little bit looser. Maybe I need to go bigger. And I'm just playing and seeing what will happen when I'm layering these colors. If you only have 3 markers, who cares? See what you can make. And if your markers get dirty, just wipe them off on a scratch piece of paper. It will come off. Just draw a little bit. I like how that tree came out. That's really cute. And not very hard, is it? And I could go ahead if I want to add a few brown lines for trunks. And that way it kind of maybe shows exactly what I'm thinking. So there we have some cute little abstract trees. We're blending colors, we're playing with lines, and we're seeing what we can get. So I hope you had fun making either your paint trees or your marker trees, and we played with blending those colors. We played with our palettes and putting the different colors in before we got started. Maybe that's something we've done before or haven't done before, or we used to do, but now we don't, because I know personally sometimes I get lazy and I just want to mix on the page. So hopefully you learned something new. We played. These could make really beautiful cards. Even if you did it on a whole page together, we could cut them out and put them on something else. And so I hope you had a good time doing this. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you get notified. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.